May is the Jedi's problem now. And I'm not a Jedi. Don't tell me you'll miss me.
Scissor me alien timbers. Howdy all, I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to my review. I guess we're going to call it a review because there's not much to review for Acolyte Episode 4. Shortest episode of the season, if you want to call it a season, and really, nothing happens. Nothing happens, except lore breaking and obvious shit and cringe. That's what we got this episode. I'm going to attempt to get through this as quickly as possible, and you'll see why, because there's nothing to talk about, but we are going to stop on a few key points. I will enjoy trying to see the stands defend what went down in here, because we were promised an epic episode. We were promised something was going to be so cool. Nothing happened. And yes, it ends on a cliffhanger, and next episode promises to have the greatest lightsaber action ever in Star Wars. Remember, they said that. We're going to get the best lightsaber duels ever, and it'll happen next episode, which nobody has seen yet. That is the key thing. The stands have had weeks to prepare their defenses for the first 4 episodes, so that when we come out and criticize it, they can just go down their laundry list, their checkbox of why we're all racists and bigots and homophobes. Next week, they got no time to prepare. They're going to watch at the same time we will, and when we come out with our, I'll say it, instantaneous, well-thought-out problems, because we have working individual brains. They subsist on a hive mind, and they have to wait for their talking points. They're not going to have any way to defend what is likely next week to be some of the worst choreographed lightsaber duels you've ever seen. Anyway, but that's not this week. This week's a whole lot of nothing and talking. Let's get right into it. Acolyte Episode 4, Cringe Fest.
You know, your sister being alive doesn't change anything. You need to kill the Wookiee. You made a deal.
There's 3 hours of sunlight left. Let's get going.
Let's hit the ground running. We are on random Outer Rim. Remember, random Outer Rim planet created by Disney Star Wars, where Kel Naka, worst Wookiee name I've ever heard in existence, is basically in some sort of hermitage, cut off contact with the rest of the Order. We don't know why. There'll be a bunch of shots of Kel Naka in his hut, and we'll see the symbols that are part of gay, lesbian, witch society, and he's just sitting there making dinner. Doesn't matter. Whatever. That's Kel Naka. Boom. Done. We cut back to Coruscant. Remember, they have to tell us Coruscant, even though you see the goddamn Jedi Temple, and this is retarded right here. You got, Daphne Keene and a bunch of other Padawans going through form training. Okay, lightsaber form training, that's great. Why are you using lightsabers? Because lightsabers have no weight. You have the hilt. You have lightsabers. Why are they using basically Bakkens, wooden katanas? Why are they using wooden katanas for practicing forms? That's not how it works. This is people who don't know how Star Wars works making up shit for training for Jedi. That's not how it works. Jedi actually use lightsabers when they're training because it's part of the practice. It's learning the forms. You can't practice lightsaber forms without a lightsaber. Why? Because a lightsaber is dangerous. You must understand its danger. People who can't use the Force and use lightsabers will cut their shit off. But even with the Force, you have to know how it feels. Everything. This is retarded. This isn't lore. It's Disney lore. Anyway, we have focus on Daphne Keene, and here comes a good sister, Amanda Stenberg. She's going to walk in, and I'm leaving. I want to thank you for helping me out here, blah, blah, blah. Aren't you going to say no? It's a Jedi problem. And I showed you the clip in the intro. They have to just get it in there that these two want to scissor me timbers all the way into the next galaxy. They just have to get that in there. They have to. Anyway, it's a lot of babble. I wish you were going to hear. Why don't you be a Jedi? Blah, 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 whatever. Also, that we can move on to the next scene where Bat Sister Amanda Stenberg is with fake alchemist guy who is probably our Sith Lord. Like I said back in episode 2, yeah, horned, angry, Zabrak, lesbian chick is a really good candidate too, but it's gonna be a stretch. It's gonna be a stretch. I'll make my case for that at the end of the episode right now. So these two are on they're on random Outer Rim forest planet where Kelnaka is. Outer Rim. Remember that. Outer Rim. They're going to have a quick conversation about we have to get to him before the sun goes down in 3 hours. Remember, Outer Rim. Sun's going to go down in 3 hours. And also, Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg is having doubts about being able to do this. Either way, that's all set up. Right. Back to Coruscant, and now here comes something that is actually important. Master Leslie Headland's wife has convened her small council. There's a reason she called it the small council last episode, because they're doing all of this without the knowledge of the High Council. So it's basically a faction within the Jedi who are operating without orders and without the knowledge of the High Council. Yeah, because that's how the Jedi work. Oh, it's kind of as though Leslie Headland and her band of retarded minions are setting it up that the Jedi are not good, that they operate with their own desires in mind, that they shouldn't be hailed as heroes. It's more deconstruction of the Jedi. But that's not what's really important here. If you're watching the episode and you're seeing the small council, you notice this dude right here looks familiar, and I thought to myself, no, they're not gonna do this. I just thought, no, it's got to be another member of the species. But you get to the credits. I'm gonna cut to the chase right here. Here's the credits. Yes, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Jedi Master from the prequels on the Jedi High Council. They have now once again proven they hate George Lucas Star Wars by setting up the fact that Ki-Adi-Mundi, who's directly involved with this whole scenario, will cover it all up. Bravo, Leslie. You freaking cow. You fake goddamn fan. All of you. You suck. You have just poisoned the well yet again. You've shown you do not care. Ki-Adi-Mundi. Now, I don't know how long-lived his species is. I'm not that hardcore. But putting him in here, it now sets the stage for the cover. We kind of all thought Yoda was going to be the one to cover everything up. Nope. It looks like they're setting the stage to have Ki-Adi-Mundi be the one to do the cover-up of this whole scenario. Wow. It's as though we predicted a cover-up would happen. So right after the small council convenes, we got Master Squid Game and Master Leslie Headland's wife. They're having a little powwow. Master Leslie Headland's wife wants to kill May because she's upset that Master Squid Game didn't tell her that she survived. But he's like, no, you couldn't have survived, but we have to save her now. And we can use good sister to save bad sister. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. That's the extent of our conversation. And now we're going to go over to have Master Squid Game tell good sister Amandla Stenberg that they need her.
You need me so you can get to her. So, I can't.
When I told May you were alive, her eyes softened. She became a different person.
Are you ready for a lot of crap that just doesn't make sense? A lot of crap that doesn't make sense. All right, first off, we are back on Outer Rim planet with probably now less than 2 hours till sundown, where you got Guy who's probably the Sith Lord and Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg talking about what do you do to kill a Jedi without a weapon? He's really pushing that on her. He's really bringing that up with a lot of obvious questioning to make her wonder and think about it, as though maybe he's the Sith Lord testing her and guiding her to figure it out. You wonder. It's kind of obvious, and she's got all kinds of doubts now. How am I going to do this? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe the deal I made is wrong. Well, if you break the deal, he's going to kill you. It's a lot of bad narrative, a lot of bad setup, a lot of bad dialogue. But it's all to set up the fact that Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg is having doubts and that maybe, just maybe, the Sith Lord's going to have to intervene. Back on Coruscant, here comes Master Squid Game catching up with good Sister Amandla Stenberg to convince her to come with them because he needs her to convince her bad sister to come back to the light side. Because she can be redeemed, everybody. Hey, it's a Star Wars theme. They're still good in everybody. Because as I showed you in the clip, when he was fighting her and he mentioned good sister, Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg, her eyes softened. And she became a different person. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's get in the Wayback Machine to last week with the backstory episode where not once did May ever exhibit good tendencies. She was an evil little bitch who had a horrible relationship with her sister. They didn't really like each other. That episode showed us they hated each other. They pretended to like each other. There was no real connection there. She was evil, horrible, wanted to torment little creatures, wanted to kill her own sister. I'm going to go be a Jedi. I won't let you leave. I'll kill you before I let you go. And then she lights Stone on fire and proceeds to magically pretend to die falling down a chasm and somehow survived that without a scratch. She never was good. Yet Master Squid Game's gonna go, there's still good in her. We've seen she was never good. Never. Not once. So to pretend that now there's a theme which they're going to try and build on from Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg's end, that she wants to be saved, that she wants to turn to the good side. It's crap. It's horrible storytelling. There's no foundation for this at all. But he still convinces good sister to go along, and now we're on the way from Coruscant, deep in the mid-rim, to way out on the outer rim forest planet where Kelnaka's jerking off in his hut. We're going to get there through hyperspace fast travel. While on the way, we have good Sister Amandla Stenberg listening to guy who thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star, giving his speech on how they're going to track down and take out her bad sister other half. We meet Basil. Basil, who Disney Star Wars geniusly teased a couple days prior to the premiere. Here comes Basil. He's the tracker who's going to help our band of retarded Jedi find Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg because he can smell things. And guess what? Guess what? He's from actual Star Wars, everybody. That's right. Basil's species of rodent-like alien comes from a random comic book from the late 70s between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So we're Leslie Headland and we're our special retarded minion group. We're gonna yank this out and claim this is us respecting Star Wars. That's right, everybody. We're proving our real fan cred by taking this character that not even real Star Wars fans knew existed and putting his species front and center so you could respect us. Please believe us that we love the Star Wars. Fake fan behavior. They pluck something that is totally obscure. And they're going to claim, well, look, there it is. We're respecting real Star Wars. And then here will come the army of stans, and they've already done it, by the way, who will go and say, look, this is from real Star Wars. They're real Star Wars fans. Leslie Headland, let her cook. All of them pretending to know what Basil's species is. I didn't know what Basil's species was. I don't know who he is. His species, nothing. Because guess what? As hardcore as I am, I don't know everything. And I can admit that. But these idiots, they have to pretend. They have to draw on something so obscure, so random, to try and prove that they have street cred as actual real Star Wars fans. That it makes it now ridiculous went on there. So there's Basil. And he interacts with good Sister Amandla Stenberg. They have some forced comedy. And after the forced comedy, here comes pronouns in Star Wars. As she leans closer to her would-be Scissor Me Timber member, she says, who is he, they? Who is he, they? That's just checking a box. It's stupid. It's silly. It's retarded. It doesn't belong here. But there it is. Just they had to make sure they got some pronouns in there. Even though for the rest of the episode, they refer to Basil as he or him. So there you go. Never once even go back to the they, just to make sure you understand. I need to possibly respect his pronouns because he might be something. He might be a they, them. Anyway, we get revealed that he's Basil. He's Basil. He's their tracker. He's going to smell things. He's going to smell Kelnaka. Because they arrive on the planet like that. Remember, mid-rim, deep mid-rim Coruscant, way out there on the Outer Rim forest planet, where Bat Sister Amandla Stenberg and probably Sith Lord Guy are there for already a couple hours, with probably now less than an hour, maybe hour and a half until sunset. And they've all arrived there on the same day, and they're going to reach everything at the same time. Because Basil gets the scent. He gets the scent, and guy who thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star has to let it be known that he learned Basil's language to be different from everybody. Pointless information. Pointless, worthless information. Anyway, so they all head off into the forest because they're going to magically catch up to everybody there pretty instantaneously. And meanwhile, a couple random bit of shit happens. They come along a bunch of insects on trees. Good Sister Amandla Stenberg wakes one up, and then Master Squid Game has to kill it. I'll handle this. Let me handle this. It's all done so that we can be revealed, have it revealed to us, that good Sister Amandla Stenberg is starting to sense the Force again, guys, because in Disney Star Wars, that's how it works when you're suddenly around Force users. If you've been not using your Force abilities for years, suddenly it'll work again because the Force is a light switch you could turn on and off. You could just not use it, and suddenly all your abilities go away, but if you start hanging out with people and doing stuff, suddenly it comes back magically. No understanding of how the Force works yet again. But this whole section is done so that good Sister Amandla Stenberg can feel the Force. It's almost as though we're building it up that she can be a Jedi again, because Saul's going to have a conversation with her about, listen, this is about you finding and facing your history. Because after she has a conversation with Soon Scissor Me Timbers about, gee, she got washed out of the Jedi because she couldn't let go of her past. But now Master Squid Game's going to tell her, you might be able to be a Jedi again because we're here so you could face your past and conquer it and move forward. And they do all this retarded, babbly, fake philosophical bullshit between all of them about facing we're not defined by our past. We're defined by our future. What? It's shitty dialogue written by people who are trying to sound intelligent, but have no idea what the hell they're talking about, let alone how to even implement any of this in Jedi logic. So it's a lot of babble, it's a lot of bullshit, but we get more now groundless buildup for a change in character where Bad Sister Amandla Stenberg and Guy, who's probably the Sith Lord, are having a conversation about how she needs a break. From their hours of walking, because they don't allude to the fact that maybe they've been there for an extra day. No, they make it pretty clear that they've only been walking for 3 hours, and magically the other group's going to catch up to them just in time. So it's all the same day, reminding you about that. And I need a break before I go fight a Wookiee. And he the Sith guy who's probably Sith Lord, tells her, well, listen, why don't you take a break, think about how you're going to fight the Wookiee without actually killing him with a weapon, while I go get you some water. And we're only 10 minutes out. We're only 10 minutes away from Kelnaka's masturbation hut. We're only 10 minutes away from his spank hut. And he's going to be there. He's not going to go anywhere. You rest up. You get ready. He goes away. And then suddenly she picks up a rope and has a magic idea that, hey, it's time for me to have a character reversal of personality without any actual buildup.
You know, after running through that forest for an extremely long time, I realized something. I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to kill a Jedi without a weapon. I don't need to keep this deal.
What? Cut me down.
Are you all ready for this really not epic conclusion to the episode? So everybody is now converging on Kelnaka's spank hut. And May has decided to set a trap with the rope. She lets out a cry of fear, and everybody comes running. The Jedi suppression team can't quite find her, though, because Basil is effed off. And guy who thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star actually complains that, oh, this is what Basil does. He runs off. What good is he? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's some sort of inside joke that we've had many, many episodes to have fun with. It's as though, it's the same as this. You watch a lot of One Piece. You know that Zoro is terrible with direction, and he randomly will always go off in the wrong direction because his sense of direction is shit. Well, this is that, except without the backstory to it. We're supposed to be, there he goes. There's Basil being Basil again, just running off on his own. When we don't care, we don't know. Anyway, so what happens, though, is now guy who's probably a Sith Lord is seen getting water, but he's been off camera for probably a while here. Gets the water, goes running back to where he knew Bat Sister Amandla Stenberg was, gets yoinked in the rope trap, and we get a conversation where Bat Sister Amandla Stenberg now wants to also be a good Sister Amandla Stenberg by saying, well, listen, now that my sister's alive, I don't really need your deal. I don't need to kill anybody. I'm going to turn myself in and tell them everything. But she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know the identity of the Sith Lord. She doesn't know anything. But that's her deal. She has suddenly decided to be good for no apparent reason whatsoever, even though our backstory showed she hated her sister. She loved her so much she hated her. She wanted to kill her. Ridiculous. Everybody's converging now. During this period of time, the conversation of Master Squid Game to good sister Amandla Stenberg saying you can face your past or whatever, that happened. And Bat Sister Amandla Stenberg arrives at Kelnaka's spank hut and falls down into some sort of puff trap, I don't know. And then there's Basil. And Basil starts hooting. He starts hooting so that guy who thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star can find him because he can understand him. Remember, that's his whole point, so he can understand him. So everybody's converging on the spank hut. And Bad Sister, who wants to now be good sister Amandla Stenberg, goes to the hut, tries to turn herself in, but guess what? Kelnaka's been ganked! I know! What a surprise! Kelnaka's been ganked with a very obvious lightsaber slash across the abdomen. Wow! It's almost as though a lightsaber is deadly now. This is Disney Star Wars. I'm really surprised. Lightsabers are deadly again. One slash across a Wookiee's chest. You see, remember, in Ahsoka and in Obi-Wan, tiny little 90-pound girls can get stabbed with lightsabers and survive. But big, massive Wookiee Kelnaka gets one little slash across the chest. Oh, he's done. He's done. No, he's dead. He's dead. Well, Bad Sister, who now wants to be good sister too, is trapped in the hut as the suppression team shows up. And they announce, in the name of the Republic, you must come out and turn yourself. And notice it's somebody else saying it and not Master Squid Game, because he can't project his voice and probably hold clear English at the same time. Anyway, now we got a problem. Everybody's converging, but suddenly there's a shot of good sister Amandla Stenberg, and suddenly a figure levitates down from above. He just drops down, and then we get a focus, and would-be Sesame Timbers Daphne Keene goes, "What is that? What is that?" And they all turn around, and there he is. There's the Sith Lord with his bad helmet. I'm not going to use the Smilo Ren meme. That's everybody else's joke. It's not my joke. I haven't come up with a good one yet, so you're just going to have to bear with me. So, fake Sith Lord ambles up and goes face-to-face with good sister Amandla Stenberg. And Master Squid Game goes, "Osha, get back!" And everybody ignites their lightsabers as fake Sith Lord ignites his lightsaber, and then he just goes, boop, and just knocks good sister Amandla Stenberg aside. Everybody charges, and then he does a massive force wave, and everybody's pushed back, and guess what? Episode over. I know! All that build up and nothing happens, and we're saving it for the next episode, guys. It's almost as if they made these episodes knowing that they would be cutting off the gifted episodes to all the shills and the stands and the fake reviewers right before they can give their glowing reports before bad lightsaber choreography likely happens next episode.
Watch out! Run!
And there you have it. A guy who's probably the Sith Lord is the Sith. He's got to be the Sith Lord. He's got to be at this point, unless angry Zabrak lesbian mama showed up and was shadowing them the whole time. There's plenty of time for him to have killed Kel Naka and gone back to get the water so that we can see him getting the water and then pretend to be a flustered guy hanging upside down. All evidence points to him being the Sith Lord. Right now it does. And if they have angry Zabrak lesbian mom show up to be the Sith Lord as well, it's equally a possibility, and it's equally stupid. It's only a little less stupid because it's more stupid to have him be the Sith Lord because it's just been so bloody obvious that they didn't even try to, they poorly tried to hide it. That would be dumber than her showing up. At least her showing up would sort of be a little creative in the fact that she lived and she's been operating from the shadows the whole time. But then we have to learn is how did she become a Sith Lord? Then they need to tell us that, and I don't think they have enough gas in the tank to actually do that. Either way, here we are. Next week, the setup for probably the worst choreography you've ever seen from lightsabers, even though they've been telling us over and over again, it's going to be epic, it's going to be great. The shows were telling us that this week's episode was epic. It wasn't. There was nothing epic about this. Nothing happened except lore breaking and bad character work. Ki-Adi-Mundi, his insertion into this just is not smart. The smartest thing would be to have had everybody just die who's involved with this, who knows about this possible Sith. That's the easiest thing, but no. We have to set the stage to deconstruct the Jedi and have likely Ki-Adi-Mundi be the cover-up master, the man who covers it all up and pretends the Sith were never back. They have to do that. They have to ruin George Lucas' Star Wars to prop up their own shit. And then you have the fake fan shit surrounding Basil. You've got bad character work there where suddenly bad Sister Amandla Stenberg with zero character work suddenly wants to be a good Sister Amandla Stenberg too. No work done. We have the evidence. I told you the evidence. You've seen it. There is no foundation for her to have a sudden face turn. Except, gee, my sister's alive. I guess I don't want to be Sith anymore. Bullshit. Horrible writing, horrible narratives, horrible storytelling, lore breaking, bad character work, and in the end, likely coming now, some of the worst choreography you're ever going to see. But that's next week. We will be here. We will mock it. Join me next Wednesday for my take on episode 5. Until then, guys, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.